Hi, my name is Jasper. I want to tell you about the pranks that began to occur in my school. And at first it was fun and cool, but gradually they crossed all the boundaries. Moreover, we could not find out who was the prankster. After when we found out who he was, we were, well, to put it mildly, just in shock. At school, like in all kids, there's always some kind of jokes on each other. I remember I like to make fun of my friends and girlfriends too. We have our own group of 4 guys in my class that we hang out. We are the closest friends. Our group consists of both boys and girls. We like to hang out together, do our homework. I don't argue, it's not possible without all sorts of romantic feelings either, which is why I've been stuck in friend zone with Cheryl for 2 years now. She likes me a lot, but as a friend I guess, and I've been trying to tell her how I feel, but I couldn't. Well, one day a new principal came to our school named Mr. Charles Smith. He looked very strict, so we didn't even talk at the meeting. He looked so formidable. After the meeting, we scattered to the classrooms. The only thing that Mr. Smith had said was that now with his arrival, there would be changes in the school. He didn't specify which ones, but he made it clear and everyone was nervous. My friends and I decided to discuss this over lunch. Sherry, what do you think about our new principal? I don't even know yet. He's kind of mysterious or something. His phrase about the coming changes scares me, to put it mildly. Don't worry, if he insults you, our good knight Jasper will always come to your aid. Shut up, Nick, I'll give you to eat him. What did I do to deserve it? I don't feel sorry for you. And why is that? Because of my sense of humour? Which you never had. Oh, come on. How is Jasper better than me? He doesn't talk like you and doesn't wear his leather jacket 24/7. Do you ever take it off? Except in one case, baby, if you know what I mean. Which one? We all laughed and Lisa pouted. Then the principal passed by. What are we doing? He asked, looking at our food trays. We're eating, I said. He smiled, patted me on the shoulder and said, you should not eat fast food. Burn your calories, man. Then he laughed at his own bad joke and went into the office. What was it now? Well, at least someone told you about being overweight. Oh, Nick, at least I'm overweight, not just me. What are you talking about? Guys, we have to go to class. We went to class and Nick kept pestering me about what I meant, but I didn't answer. I was more concerned with the director's words anyway. What right had he to mock me? When we came to the door, there was a sign with the inscription, "The lesson is transferred to another building of the school at the address." What? How is that? Only we didn't know about it. It's on the other side of town. I thought that building was closed, I said. There was nothing to do. There were 10 minutes left before the start, so we ran to Lisa's car and raced to the other end of the street. We were going so fast, we were afraid we wouldn't make it. Suddenly, at the traffic light, we saw the car of the new principal. He rolled down the window and said, "I will put a bad mark to those who are late," and the road turned into an expressway. As soon as the traffic light turned green, we took off faster than a bullet, competing with Mr. Smith. There were obstacles in the form of cars along the way, but his SUV against Lisa's Mini Cooper seemed like a monster. Cars slid along the road like in a game. We all froze with fear. Lisa herself didn't understand what was happening. Suddenly, a cat jumped out on the road. I shouted and Lisa slammed on the brake. The director went ahead. When we arrived at the place, we saw an abandoned building with a sign saying, "You're late." We arrived back. The teacher saw us and gave us a penalty for being absent. We tried to explain that we had seen the sign, but he said there was nothing. And the most interesting thing is that the principal also denied everything. Angry, I went to my locker, opened it, and suddenly a cake flew out and hit me right in the face. Everyone was laughing, and I went to wash my face. I went to the bathroom, washed my face, and when I came out, Cheryl told me that I looked like an avatar. Then I saw myself with a blue face in the reflection of the window. What the fuck? Who's doing this? But no one answered. Everyone just laughed. In class, we were sitting studying when suddenly Cheryl screamed. Something was crawling under her desk. It was a snake. We all jumped up on the tables, but it turned out that the snake wasn't real. The teacher was indignant. Went out somewhere. When she came in, we saw toilet paper sticking on her back. Nick laughed, and she didn't understand what was going on. When she saw toilet paper on her back, she thought that he had done it and punished him by kicking him out of class. It can't go on like this. There's an end to all pranks. We need to find out who's doing this. This is our new principal, I'm sure, judging by that car race. What if it's not him? Then we'll follow him. After school, we went to his office, but Mr. Smith was not there. I started to scramble through his bag, trying to find something suspicious, and then I found the gun. Wow, why does he need a gun? What are you doing here? Mr. Smith suddenly asked sternly. We were confused, didn't know what to do, and Nick said that we came to talk. About what? And why do you need my personal belongings? Yes, Why do you need a gun? Mr. Smith jumped on me at the speed of light, quickly pulled out a gun, then pointed it at me and said, I will kill anyone who interferes in my life. He pulled the trigger. I screamed out of fear. No, don't kill me, kill Nick. Then the principal pulled the trigger and bam, the fire lit up. It was a lighter. I could feel my knees shaking. Why me? It looks like he doesn't feel sorry for you. So what did you want to talk about? Stop bullying us. We know you did it all. You've been bullying us all day, even the teachers. It's not funny at all. But my subscribers think the opposite. Your who? Mr. Smith opened his phone and showed his TikTok, and it turned out he had a lot of videos of us, including our car races. He had a bunch of comments under the video. He named himself as a furious TikToker. Sometimes my jokes go overboard, and I know it, but I won't stop pranking. My pranks are loved by subscribers. Sometimes I make all these videos with my family. Once I drugged the dog and told my daughter that he was dead. We started burying him, and the dog woke up. You should have seen her face and how she screamed when the dog chased her to lick. This video got the most likes, by the way. You're insane. Do you realize that I'll be walking around with a blue face for the rest of the week? 2? What? 2 weeks? I brought resistant paint. We can sue you. Come on, I've been through this before, and as you can see, I'm here now as your principal. Guys, we can fight a war with you, or we can unite and you will help me. How's that? I need help for pranks. Need actors. You can help me and I won't make fun of you, okay? And if we refuse, then the director took out his phone, called Cheryl's mother and said that she was not in class today. He didn't know where she was and was very worried. Are you crazy? She asked. There was no way out. We agreed and the director called Cheryl's mother back, apologized and said he had confused the girls. All in all, we are now collaborating with the crazy principal TikToker. He gives us tasks every day. For example, I smeared my hands with Nutella paste and ran down the corridor, shouting that I needed paper, and then suddenly tripped and fell right on the teacher and soiled her shirt. Nick walked by, saw my hand, and licked it with pleasure. A couple of school kids threw up on the floor. Cheryl had to put a rat toy in the teacher's desk, and when the teacher looked into it, she screamed at the whole class. The most interesting thing is that no one could understand who was doing it, and if they did, they didn't say anything. I think the director was pumping his TikTok at our expense, and we were immune. It's been 2 months since then, and to be honest, we're a little tired of it all. Tell me, do you guys have any ideas on how to overthrow our Mr. Smith? If so, write about it in the comments below. We will try to use your advice, and who knows, maybe we'll succeed. Would you like to study at our school and have such a principal? How would you use this to your advantage? Share with us, we will be happy.
Hey there, my name is Harry. Here's the thing, I have one big passion. I want to share with you something that gives me a gastronomic pleasure and it just blows the roof. I will now share my story with you, but please do not forget to like me, subscribe to this channel, and of course, comment on the video. Write your opinion, I will be happy to read it. I was born in the most normal family. I have parents, and 2 brothers, Sam and Luke. Since I am the oldest in the family, I often tell myself that I should be responsible and help my mother with small children. My mother loves me very much for this. She tries not to deprive me of attention, although it is not particularly successful, but still, I can see that she loves me very much too. So we have become such a tradition. On Saturdays I bathe my brothers, because on this day my mother has a day off and she cooks a lot of delicious food for us. She likes to treat her men, as she says, no matter what, salad and even dessert. At first I had no idea how to bathe my brothers, but then I got used to it. I just filled the bathroom and they splashed there for 40 minutes. I sat there and made sure nothing happened. Most of all, they liked when there was a lot of foam in the bathroom. We bought a special foam and the children played with it. I usually watched everything on my phone at this time, and one day the foam ran out. The boys were very upset. They demanded foam. They refused to swim without it. I couldn't go and buy it right away because it was too late. I took the baby shampoo and poured it right into the bathroom. It was their shampoo with the smell of kiwi. It was just a funky smell. I smelled it and sniffed. Besides, from it there was just a sea of foam. While the brothers bathed, I sat near the bathroom and sniffed shampoo. If you close your eyes, you get the feeling that you are smelling a real kiwi. Yes, I loved this fruit. Time passed, and I sniffed and sniffed, and then the idea crept into my head. Why shouldn't I taste it? I slightly pulled out my tongue and licked the shampoo. I found it delicious, like a fruit. Not exactly kiwi, but delicious. Then I decided to drink a little, and then another, and it was like a cocktail. It was noticed by Sam. When he said, "Ew," I abruptly put the bottle away. "Are you licking shampoo?" he asked disgustedly. "I don't lick it, I just sniffed it. Will you tell anyone? I'll never bathe you again, okay?" This closed the subject. Later, we went down to dinner, and before going to bed, I wanted to taste it again. I went down to the bathroom and drank a little. I was so high in those moments. Here I am telling you honestly, nothing tastes better from the inedible I've ever tried. This continued almost every day. I drank and drank in small sips, and within a week the shampoo was gone. I showed my mother an empty bottle, and my mother bought another. At my request, she bought the same one. It ended quickly, even faster than the previous one. Another time my mother bought a strawberry, then with the smell of raspberries, apples, honey, and one was tastier than the other. And then I really got into it. Every time I took a shower, I just took a bottle and took a couple of sips from it. From the outside, it was like I was an alcoholic. Naturally, I was not going to share my new addiction with anyone, because it was my own business. In general, a month later, my mother suddenly asked, "Harry, why is the shampoo running out so quickly for the kids? Are you filling the bathroom with it?" she asked. I paused, and the kids behind me laughed. I looked at them askance, and then said that I was washing them thoroughly, and that was all. My mother asked me to be more economic. From that moment on, I decided that it was time for me to buy my own treats, because the situation was getting suspicious. I went to the market and literally hung out for hours in the soap washing department. I sniffed all the shampoos from the most expensive to the cheapest and concluded that the most delicious ones are cheap, since they have a simpler composition. I took fruit, with a floral smell, liquid, thick, children's, adults. A month later, we were sitting with friends in a cafe, and one of the girls I just met told me that I smell delicious. "It's like you're just out of the shower. It smells so good with shampoo," she said, and looked at my hair. Damn, I've never been so embarrassed. Do I smell like shampoos already? Before I knew it, I started carrying them around in my bag. I always had a good bottle of shampoo. After a sip of it, I felt better. It was not just delicious, but also brought its own buzz, as if relaxing for the brain. It became the best antidepressant, and I thought that there was nothing harmful in it. I was wrong, though. Maybe I should have stopped in time, or at least read about the hobby on the internet, but I didn't think of it. I was completely sure that there was nothing bad in this. I do not drink alcohol, and from a couple of sips of shampoo, can there be anything harmful? I once asked a friend if he had ever tasted shampoo, to which he replied, "I'm not crazy, it's all chemistry." "Why?" he asked, and only then did I think about it. "Just asking," I said. That same evening, I went to Google the effect on the body from the shampoo, but there was really no specific information. I don't know. Maybe no one had previously drunk it or confessed. The only thing I found was a comment. Someone wrote on the forum that dandruff will disappear in the stomach, and worms in the stomach will become healthy and silky. I read and sipped my cocktail. Soon I began to smell the shampoo on myself. By the way, yes, we started dating that girl. Once we went on a date, and I drank shampoo just before going out. It gave me a little headache, but I thought I'd have time to clear my head by the time I got there. But as soon as I opened the door, she was standing on my doorstep. Before I knew it, she kissed me, and then I took a step back as if she'd been electrocuted. "What's that strange taste on your lips? It's familiar to me." "Damn, it's shampoo," she said. And then my cheeks flushed. How accurately she guessed the first time. I'm confused. I don't know what to do and what to think of. I said I'd washed my hair, but she looked at me like I was an idiot. Like, what's the mouth got to do with it? I took her hand and we went for a walk. I didn't want to go into such details about myself, but since she was so quick-witted, "I drink it," I said shortly. She looked at me for a couple of minutes, as if digesting the information, and then said that she had guessed it during the acquaintance. "But how?" I clarified, and she said to me, "Yes, your mouth smelled the same as I wash my head in the morning every day. It's not hard to guess." I was surprised by her calmness, and most importantly, that she took it so easily. There was no squeamishness or unnecessary questions. The only thing she asked me to do was not to abuse, and also not to drink before a date with her. I agreed. We'd been dating for a couple of months, which meant I'd been drinking shampoo for 6 months. To be honest, just then I started having stomach problems. I felt strange. I thought it was the cottage cheese, and I didn't care, but I was getting worse and worse, and then I fainted. It was right on a date with Lily, my girlfriend. She immediately called an ambulance. I was given a gastric lavage immediately after she told me about my addiction. The doctors called my parents and told them everything, and when I came to sense, they came at me with questions. I was called something like a drug addict. It's not really an addiction, but something similar. The general thing in the topic is that a person eventually gets high from the toxicity of the substance that he takes, and this is fraught with death if he does not stop in time. But I had such stomach pains that I didn't even want to think about shampoo. All I wanted was to be cured. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and after intensive treatment, I was put on a diet. I spent the last 3 months were fed a diet meals, nothing fried, no red meat, and most importantly, no shampoo. Lily was with me, doing everything she could to ease my diet and mental anguish. And then she brought me a cocktail she'd made herself. A kiwi fruit cocktail with milk and honey. It was divine. She found me an alternative, and a useful one at that. After treatment, I gave up my strange habit,